Let's get the latest on the Greek talks. We're joined on the phone now by the Maltese Finance Minister, Edward Scicluna. Great to have you with us this morning, Minister. Give us a sense of these meetings. We're being told by Varoufakis this morning that the Greeks have bent over backwards, positions are hardening. What's your take on the meetings that you've had? Is the schism, is the differences widening? Are positions becoming more entrenched, sir? Are we further away from a deal?
No, I think that this has been a 4-month saga, and the issue is political. It was very telling that the finance ministers in the Eurogroup, who should have been briefed from day one and from the 20th of February, have just received the Greek position and the three institutions, or the Troika's position, just yesterday. So 4 months, you could say that nothing has happened from our point of view. They were lost into deciding whether to call the Troika three institutions, where should ministers meet, whether in their office or in Paris or in a hotel lobby, and so on and so forth. So, now we are trying to do what was not done in 4 months in a few hours. And therefore, we might get a deal, but whether it's the best deal for all, is very questionable.
Sir, we're also hearing that the ECB is set to leave the emergency liquidity for the Greek banks unchanged. You were negotiating in a room in Brussels with Mr. Yanis Varoufakis yesterday. What was the mood like? We hear reports day in, day out, people being fed up, doors being slammed, as you were mentioning there, proposals coming and going. Overall, describe to me the mood over the last 3 days.
No, the three institutions and the ministers behind them, so to speak, because they are our eyes and ears and our negotiators. This is how it works. We don't negotiate with the governments between us and the Eurogroup. We just endorse, approve, and of course comment. But what was on the table when the Greek government was elected was what is called the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, which has applied to Portugal, Spain, and Ireland. And in their case, it worked. In Greece's case, it didn't. Now, there could be many reasons and so on. However, the Greek government refused it. So instead, we told the Greek government, okay, come up with your own proposals and reforms, and if they come and if they add up to the same targets of the Memorandum of Understanding, it's fine with us. But they didn't come up, and they came up, so to speak, just yesterday. So then, in between, the three institutions just a week ago almost gave up on these negotiations and said, let's make a watered-down MOU package, which they called aide-mémoire, which was not shown to us ministers to complicate matters, because for bureaucratic reasons it would have been an official document which was not even agreed by Greece. So now we have three versions: the MOU, the standard, disciplined, IMF type of and ECB and so on type of package, which the Greeks call it austerity package. Then we have a watered down, and now we have the Greek position. But it has come yesterday. And if you know, from what I see, neither of them would meet the target. Not a question of agreeing, but of really giving a breath of fresh air to the Greek economy to grow and so on. I'll just give an example very quickly. The Greek government wants to increase taxation, corporate taxation. How about that for initiative? And the three institutions, on their hand, want to increase VAT on the tourism industry on the islands, which are next to Turkey. So both of them there is room for improvement, which would be acceptable to both sides.
It's Manus here. Edward, can I just interrupt you here? It's Manus here. We want to get to the rub of what's causing the lack of agreement. Is it that there's no debt relief on the table? Is it that it's all about tax? Is it that there are certain entrenched positions? What is the stumbling block? 5 months of negotiations. What's stopping the deal?
lack of hard data and things on text. You know, you can't get agreements by just word of mouth. And the first time we're seeing a document on paper with really, you know, what we call a hard copy of what the Greeks want were just given yesterday. And they don't tally with the ones which is the closest, the so-called aide-memoire. But I think it's a question of how you can sell it to the Greek Parliament. That is the issue. It's not how much cuts or increases. It's how you can sell it to the Greek Parliament. And because there is absence of any mention of debt and just reference to VAT and pensions, the Greek government finds it very difficult to sell it. And that's the issue. So hopefully today, all day, and tomorrow, before we meet Saturday evening, we can get closer in a package which gives some life to the Greek economy and also is saleable in the Greek Parliament.
Minister, what is the likelihood of an agreement? Is it now 50-50? Is it 70-30 and 70 of the likelihood of a Greek default followed by a Greek exit?
Yeah. When it's that close and tempers are short and there's lack of trust, it can go both sides. I'll go for 50-50.
All right. Minister, thank you so much. Edward Scicluna there, the Maltese Finance Minister.